All right. What's in this podcast? It's another special episode here with David Lamont. And I'm here with another special guest. Like always, introduce yourself for the people, my friend.
What's going on, people? My name is Mo, a.k.a. Those New York Kids, a.k.a. Mac Daddy Maurice Tista, a.k.a. your mans.
So, my mans. How you doing today, man? How you doing?
I'm a little frustrated because my Caesar salad didn't turn out the way I wanted it.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
I paid for it, so I should have got it the way I wanted.
I got you.
It's all good. Life, God was trying to tell me
always turns around, man. I'm glad you started like that. Like, do the little things, like, bother you sometimes? Like, little things during the day that don't go your way?
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating, but, you got to just keep with a level head, because if you let that shit bother you, say you're on the road and you letting it bother you, you start forgetting about what's in front of you, you start running into a car, then you want to blame everyone else for what you going through, you know what I'm saying? It just stumbles,
Nah, that's so true, bro. Let's get into the show, man. Let's start. Tell the people what you do, man. What's your thing, man? What's your niche, bro?
I've been rapping and making music for about 10 years now. Back in the day, around 2011, 2012, I decided to go to an acting school in New York City, and I made a group called Those New York Kids, and that's where the name came from. But we were making videos all the time, so we were doing skits. We tried to get an app off the ground. We were doing music, so we were doing a lot of different stuff. It was pretty cool.
Dope. So how long you been rapping for?
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
Okay, dope. So,
but there is a baby video of me on Instagram right now of me singing into the mic.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. So you've always wanted to be like a performer?
Yeah, exactly. An entertainer.
Dope.
I remember one of my aunt's birthdays, I acted like I was hosting it and moving the mic around everybody. So it's just always a good time when I'm entertaining people,
Dope. So I've gotten the opportunity to watch you perform and things like that, you know, so definitely I know that the performance aspect, you definitely have that down. You're very, you seem animated when you perform. You're really into the music, and that's definitely good, man. Like, I definitely, I noticed that, you know what I'm saying? Also, bro, like, so what is the main thing that you do for music? Like, what does that get you, what makes you do music? Like,
all right, that's an easy question. Music unlocks the secrets within myself that I forgot about. So I wrote some songs about 10 years ago of stuff that I was going through, and then I continue to write music. But recently, I've built a better connection with my Lord and Savior, right? And when I listen back to my music, I can hear it all along. Either he's always been there, or I've always wanted to connect to him. You can hear it in the sounds of my music, and it's something that no one can take from me. I mean, like, it's a relationship that's amazing, you know what I'm saying? It makes me feel safe.
Right. I definitely feel you on that. So, like, do you feel like, like, when you do music, like, is it something that you want to do for, like, a career, or is it something that is more of, like, a hobby for you?
I want to get my break through music and then go to different outlets, whether that be fashion, making videos, being philosophical.
So almost like a mogul and a thing.
Like a Kanye, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. So and we have similar problems because I suffer from bipolar disorder. Okay. Apparently, that's what they want to claim.
Right.
But really, it's just some people have a finer tuning of things that's going on.
So let's dig into that a little deeper since you brought that up, because, Golden on TV, we're all about, the mental health and things like that. So the bipolar thing, so how did you get, like, diagnosed with that? Like, what made them,
Well, when I was in New York and everything was going well, I was doing really good at acting and having a great time. I had a girlfriend at the time, and she popped up with the news that we almost had a kid, and she decided to go with the abortion. And when that happened, it really messed me up inside. I was really confused. I was trying to make sense of everything that was going on, so I was studying a lot of random things, and really I just got confused, and I had to leave New York City, and I ended up in a mental facility for a while. Yeah, just trying to get better.
Wow.
So, it's pretty tough.
Wow. So, like, when my mom is here now, so I'm actually going to bring her into this conversation, since normally I bring her in at the end, but, you know what I'm saying, since we got into this a little earlier, because, like I said, the channel is all about, talking about mental health. My mom, she is a life coach. She's all into the field, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get her, opinions on the bipolar thing, since she brought that up. Like, can you give us, like, your take on things like that?
I found it interesting that you said that that's what they had labeled, they had given you that label, and then you said something interesting a little bit about that. Did you feel like that was something that was legitimate, or did you feel like that was something that different?
I'll say this, because I was wrong in places, and I feel like they were wrong in places. When I was in New York and I was going through that stuff, some revelation in me that I felt like, and they say that this is part of bipolar sometimes, but I felt that I was God, because I was living off such a natural high, and nothing was stopping me, but I was also smoking and drinking and maybe doing a little bit of other stuff. And I'm getting lost with my words. What were you asking?
Well, that's it. I wanted to know, like, did you feel like there could have been something else that was going on that maybe they had missed?
Yeah, so I was going through that, and where I know it's wrong that I was claiming me as God, I know that was a problem, but them claiming me as bipolar, it's like tough, because really what I needed was love and conversation, and they wanted to give me pills and sleep, and that's just not what I felt like that's not what I needed. So I felt like no one was listening to me. They were only trying to bottle me.
Right.
That's because we have a lot of power within ourselves, and when we find that, they're scared.
Right.
Because it messes with their money.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you said that, because some things that I have been listening to says that God is within us. And so by somebody claiming that they're God, is that really an issue, or is that like,
Right.
I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean.
Exactly. So I know, and I don't say it often, that God is within me.
Right.
But I keep that secret to myself.
Right.
Until someone else is ready to realize that God is within them as well.
Right.
I always say that God is within, and God is everything else that we are not. And when you work together with that yin and yang balance, you find a place of nirvana. And that's what I think I found. Now, I'm very early on this journey. I only realized this about 2 weeks ago. But it feels like a good life now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's ironic that in my class, I teach psychology, and in my class we were just talking about diagnosis and when people are diagnosed with mental disorders, and we were talking about the difference between wellness and mental disorders, and where do we distinguish the line. And then we were talking a little bit about historically, how the field itself had went with giving people particular diagnoses. Then we tapped into like society, and then what is considered to be what is considered to be wellness or mentally well, and which one is considered to be mentally ill. And is that a product of societal standards, or is that something else? So we were like getting into a big debate about it, and I noticed that particularly the younger people around your age and a little bit probably in the 30s, I don't know how old you are, but 29, okay, right. And those in this age range that you guys are questioning a lot of that. And so I find that interesting that you brought that up, and I love that you are bringing it up, because you're questioning it, and you have a right to question, and when you have questions about it, like, and you're right about questioning the medication and all the other kind of stuff,
Well,
because you have a right to.
Yeah, and back in the day before like TVs and stuff, you could only go off of what the newspaper and radio broadcast was telling you, and hope for the best. But now people were getting access to computers and to the internet, where they can do their own studies. They can also look at opinions from other people in their communities, and you can find information. That's why I want to find. I don't know. What are we on? Eastern? Are we Eastern medicine?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm curious about Western medicine.
We're Western, and Eastern Western is more like your Hinduism, different types of like the different types of stuff. So yeah. So you want to learn more about that?
I'm curious about the medicines they use, like the natural herbs and stuff like that. Yeah.
And I think that's good. That you are curious about it, because there's a lot of new stuff that's coming out. Of course, one thing with Western society is that we tend to, when we don't understand something and we don't have enough like research with it, then we automatically we discount things that seem different. So like just like what you said about saying God, like I'm God or whatever. To us, that's like, what are you saying, right? To the Western society. However, the new traditional ways, if people are saying that God is within them, and is that wrong to say that God is within us? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that wrong to say it?
Right.
Then again, there are instances where somebody is going through something, like you mentioned, the drugs and all the kind of stuff, which can mimic other kinds of stuff and bring on other stuff.
The thing I'm learning about now, and it's so funny that God gives me this vision now, but when I hang around people and sometimes they have bad memory where they forget where their keys are all the time and stuff like that, but then I notice that they have a love to drink, and you wonder where you can see that their vices is really what's stopping them from moving forward. Their vices is like giving them a feeling of being God when really you're not supposed to go there.
Right.
And I went all the way there and said I am God, and now I'm getting punished for it.
Right.
But at the same time, I finally figured out, who I am and apologized, and he said, okay, I'll bring you in with open arms and show you the way.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love that. So I'm glad that you are taking the time to discover yourself and find yourself, and it's this perfect time to do that. And so have you found that now that you are in a different place, do you feel like you are definitely going in the right direction, using the music to express it?
Yes, but also what I've noticed is that, so I haven't seen a car accident in a long time, and